Hey, and welcome to Connect. We believe the metaverse will be the successor to the mobile internet. Even though it's still a long way off, we're starting to work on some of these foundational concepts today. Horizon is the social platform that we're building for people to create and interact in the metaverse. Horizon Home is the first thing that you'll see when you put on your Quest headset. Today, there are already a bunch of options to choose from, and in the future, anyone will be able to create one. Soon, we're going to be introducing a social version of Home, where you can invite your friends to join you as avatars. You'll be able to hang out, watch videos together, and jump into apps together. Then, there is Horizon Worlds, which is where you can build worlds and jump into them with people. Horizon is designed to make it possible for everyone to create, and we're already seeing people build some really interesting experiences, from creating new games together to throwing surprise parties in VR that family and friends around the world can join. And we also just launched Horizon Workrooms earlier this year for collaboration. Beyond Horizon, we're also making it easier to communicate with your friends across different layers of reality. This year, we're bringing messenger calls to virtual reality. You're going to be able to invite your friends to a messenger call, and soon you'll be able to explore somewhere together or join a game. In the next year, we're also adding the ability for creators to connect different physical locations into cohesive augmented reality storytelling experiences, like guided tours or scavenger hunts. We're also building a Horizon marketplace, where creators can sell and share 3D digital items. And our hope is that this will enable a lot more commerce and help grow the overall metaverse economy. Gaming is how a lot of people are going to step into the metaverse for the first time. Deb, do you want to take us through some of the exciting games in the pipeline for Quest?
Absolutely. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to work with incredible developers like Vertigo Games, the studio behind fan favorite Arizona Sunshine. We're partnering with Vertigo on 5 more great games from Deep Silver and others. We'll share more about this lineup very soon.
Nice. What else is coming?
Population 1 is a thrilling battle royale that is only possible in VR. Since its launch at Connect last year, it has become one of the highest earning games on Quest and the biggest multiplayer FPS on the platform. We're super excited to keep launching big updates. Okay, here's something I know our community has been waiting for.
Lay it on us.
All right, this is a title from the Warp Frog team. This is the team that set the standard for VR combat physics when it launched on Rift in 2019. That's right, Blade and Sorcery Nomad, the built for VR medieval fantasy sandbox that pairs magic with melee, is launching on Quest later this year.
There's one project that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, this is one of the all-time greats, and we've been working for years to bring it to Quest.
I'm excited to announce that the Rockstar Games classic Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is in development for Quest 2. This new version of what I think is one of the greatest games ever made will offer players an entirely new way to experience this iconic open world in virtual reality. A lot of you are already using Quest to stay fit. It lets you work out in some completely new ways. Speaking of which, Supernatural just added boxing to its lineup, FitXR has new fitness studios coming next year, and Player 22 by Rezzle, which is currently used by pro athletes, is adding guided and hand-tracked bodyweight exercises soon. We're making a fitness accessories pack that makes Quest 2 more comfortable, with controller grips for when things get a bit intense, and a facial interface that you can wipe the sweat off of, making your sessions more comfortable. And that's all coming next year. Over the last year and a half, a lot of us who work in offices have gone remote, And while I miss seeing the people I work with, I think remote work is here to stay for a lot of people. So we're going to need better tools to work together. You can already see some of these elements in Horizon Workrooms, which we launched a couple of months ago. Later this year, we plan to introduce room customization, so you can put your own logos and posters in your workrooms. We're also introducing a new office space in Horizon Home, for when you want your perfect workspace to do some focused work or just cross a few things off your to-do list. We're also announcing 2D progressive web apps for the Quest Store, and as a new developer frameworks, they're easier to build. So you can drop in and check on a work project while you're in VR using services like Dropbox and Slack, or stay connected with Facebook and Instagram. This starts bringing more of your 2D internet services into the metaverse. And as we've focused more on work, and frankly, as we've heard your feedback more broadly, we're working on making it so you can log into Quest with an account other than your personal Facebook account. We're starting to test support for work accounts soon, and we're working on making a broader shift here within the next year. I know this is a big deal for a lot of people. Not everyone wants their social media profile linked to all these other experiences, and I get that, especially as the metaverse expands. But I'm genuinely optimistic about work in the metaverse. Giving people access to jobs in more places, no matter where they live, will be a big deal for spreading opportunity to more people. Dropping our daily commutes will mean less time stuck in traffic and more time doing things that matter. And it'll be good for the environment.
In the metaverse, learning won't feel anything like the way we've learned before. With a headset or glasses, you'll be able to pull up schematics you're studying, or maybe even the service manual for a vehicle you're learning to repair. Let's say you're a med student or a doctor. With apps like UploadVR, you can learn new techniques in surgery firsthand, practicing until you get it right. Or, if you're studying Earth science, you could swim through the Great Barrier Reef, get up close to Earth's mightiest insects with your instructor, David Attenborough, whose VR documentary is playing now in Oculus TV. We're setting aside $150 million to train the next generation of creators to build immersive learning content and increase access to devices.
We plan to continue to either subsidize our devices or sell them at cost to make them available to more people. We'll continue supporting sideloading and linking to PCs so consumers and developers have choice, rather than forcing them to use the Quest Store to find apps or reach customers. We expect to invest many billions of dollars for years to come before the metaverse reaches scale. Our hope, though, is that if we all work at it, then within the next decade, the metaverse will reach 1 billion people, host hundreds of billions of dollars of digital commerce, and support jobs for millions of creators and developers. So now, Boz is going to join us to talk about what people are already building for the metaverse and what kinds of tools we can create to help out.
Let's start with hands. I mean, the human hand is an engineering marvel, and bringing hands into VR was no easy feat. So today, we're introducing the Interaction SDK, a library of modular components that will make it easy to add hand interactions to your apps.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we really think this is going to help people accelerate the build time for new and existing titles that allow people to use their hands more naturally in more virtual experiences. Now, in addition to hands, there's another exciting interaction space for VR. That's your voice. The Voice SDK lets developers integrate voice input into their games and apps so they can create new gameplay and navigation. So soon, you'll be able to jump into a FitXR workout and shake up your routine just by saying, "Surprise me." Since we launched the Pass-Through API, we've already seen breakthrough experiments from developers that blend the virtual and the real world. Soon, with our next SDK release, developers will be able to ship their mixed reality apps on the Oculus Store and in App Lab. Now, of course, access to Pass-Through by itself is not enough. To achieve that rich mixed reality experience, apps also need to be aware of things in the room and, blend the virtual objects with the physical environment around them so they can coexist in the same space. So developers want to be able to place, persistent world-locked content like animated holograms or your Instagram feed in your real space. And tools like spatial anchors and scene understanding capabilities will help make these mixed reality experiences feel seamless. Now, I'd gladly nerd out with you on the technical details of this with you.
I know.
But I think it's better to show you. This is Oppie. Oppie, come on, Oppie. Who's a good persistent state virtual object layered on an interactive pass-through environment?
One thing that we haven't talked about much yet is the future of hardware that will help bring the metaverse to life. We're working on multiple new products to advance the state of the art, unlock richer social interactions, and make it a lot easier to be productive. That must be Angela, our head of VR devices.
Next year, we are releasing a new product that will push the boundaries of VR even further. We've codenamed it Project Cambria.
So this isn't the next Quest. It's going to be compatible with Quest, but Cambria will be a completely new, advanced, and high-end product, and it'll be at the higher end of the price spectrum, too. Our plan here is to keep building out this product line to release our most advanced technology before we can hit the price points that we target with Quest.
There's a ton of new tech going into Cambria. For example, your avatar will be able to make natural eye contact and reflect your facial expressions in real time. This way, people you're interacting with will have a real sense of how you're actually feeling. It does mean building more sensors into a form factor that's comfortable to wear for a while.
That's going to be a big step forward for social presence. Now, what about unlocking more mixed reality experiences? I mean, imagine working at your virtual desk with multiple screens while seeing your real desk so clearly that you can pick up a pen and write notes without taking your headset off. Or, you're doing a workout with a virtual instructor in your living room.
It's going to be so cool. We're already seeing the potentials of these kinds of experiences today as people are building for our pass-through API. But with Cambria, we'll be taking this to the next level with high-resolution, colored, mixed reality pass-through. We essentially combine an array of sensors with reconstruction algorithms to represent your physical world in the headset with a sense of depth and perspective.
We also need to push the visuals to the next level. So let's talk about the progress that we're making on optics.
Yeah, we're pushing the limits of display technology and form factor with something called pancake optics. They essentially work by folding light several times over to achieve a slimmer profile than current lenses. Now, with several optical layers, we'll need to precisely control every aspect of design and fabrication to achieve that high-quality, artifact-free display and really just deliver the best optics ever in one of our headsets.
That's pretty awesome. I'm excited to keep building out this new product line over future generations so we can keep getting our most advanced technology into people's hands even before we can get it into our Quest product line.
We're starting to work with developers to build experiences for Cambria as we speak, and we're looking forward to sharing so much more with y'all next year.
We are also focused on the hardware to make true augmented reality possible. In a lot of ways, augmented reality is even harder, not just because we need to invent a completely new optical stack that's not based on screens, but because we basically need to fit a supercomputer into a pair of normal-looking glasses. And today, I want to show you an experience that we've been working on for Project Nazare, which is the codename for our first full augmented reality glasses. Here, you'll see you're chatting with friends on WhatsApp and planning a game night. You can select a game, and then, as you walk over to your kitchen, you can easily just put your game onto the table and you're off. And that's the kind of experience that augmented reality will unlock. There's a lot of technical work to get this form factor and experience right. We have to fit hologram displays, projectors, batteries, radios, custom silicon chips, cameras, speakers, sensors to map the world around you, and more into glasses that are about 5 millimeters thick. So we still have a ways to go with Nazare, but we are making good progress. I'm excited about our future roadmap, but even that's still early in a journey that's going to go on for decades. And for the last 7 years, our research team has been working on a broad array of technologies that are necessary for these next-generation platforms. Michael Abrash leads this team, and he's going to join me to talk about some of the future technology that we're developing.
It's going to take about a dozen major technological breakthroughs to get to the next-generation metaverse, and we're working on all of them. Displays, audio, input, haptics, hand tracking, eye tracking, mixed reality, sensors, graphics, computer vision, avatars, perceptual science, AI, and more.
We probably only have time for a couple right now. You want to pick a few?
Let's start with avatars. We've shown codec avatars before.
Well, what can your face do? Can you show us?
Well, I've always hoped you would ask me that question.
And photorealistic avatars will be a huge breakthrough. So this next video shows how we're making progress on part of that with hair and skin rendering and relighting for 3D avatars.
She's going for the medical field. I think she was interested into...
Now, I want to point out this technology is still very definitely research, but it shows the really high level of fidelity that avatars are ultimately going to need to reach. Clothing is another important way to express yourself. And whether you want to simulate your actual garments, say you're making a quick call with your grandmother, or maybe you just want to be wearing a stylish blue Oxford shirt like me, you're going to need the ability to simulate clothing. So here's an early look at hand-cloth interaction. And you can see how the movement of the cloth when the hand touches and stretches it is really remarkably accurate.
You'll also need realistic virtual spaces to be with people in, so let's look at that.
So what you can see here is that a researcher is moving around various objects on the right, and then on the left you can see the high-fidelity real-time rendering of the space in the moving objects on the left without the researcher. So what's critical here is that this is all happening in real time. That's what's novel here, and that's what differentiates it from CGI. Last year, we showed our very first full-body codec avatar at Connect. Here to tell you more about our progress since then is Yasser Sheikh.
What you're seeing is actually a rendering of my pre-recorded codec avatar. Over the past couple of years, we've made quite a bit of progress with codec avatars. My avatar can now look left, look right, look up, look down, make facial expressions.
Here, you can see Elaine is in VR on the right. You can see her view of Yasser's avatar and the reconstructed real-world space that it's in on the left as she moves around the avatar. This gives you a sense of a future in which you'll be able to interact with another person's realistic avatar in virtual reality in real time.
Of course, we also want to be able to actually do things in the metaverse. And while seeing your hands in VR and manipulating virtual objects is a big step forward towards that, we're going to need an even easier and more intuitive way to interact with virtual content when you're on the go wearing AR glasses.
This video shows some of the ways that we think that wrist-based neural interfaces can provide an important input tool for AR glasses. So at first, that input is going to just be around enabling basic gestures, click, scroll, select. But as the technology evolves, EMG input could potentially unlock full-speed typing, and it could give you subtle, personalized controls that you can use in any situation. This is genuinely unprecedented technology.
This experimental UI shows for the first time how EMG input could one day allow you to send a message in AR with your hand resting comfortably at your side, without ever having to look at a screen. Notice how the researcher used an overt and highly visible click gesture to send the first message. We've made a lot of progress over the last year, and we're now able to do the same thing with the smallest of movements of the hand. EMG enables this by picking up subtle neuromotor commands with remarkable precision.
So basically what you're saying is that you're going to be able to send a text message just by thinking about moving your fingers. That's going to be pretty amazing. But I guess it's just one part of the equation, because the other is AI that understands your context and can give you a simple set of choices based on that context.
Remember the mock apartment we saw earlier? Well, we've indexed every single object in it, including not only location, but also the texture, geometry, and function of each one. We fed all that information into the Project Aria glasses Mingfei is wearing in this next demo.
And the reason is to simulate how AR glasses will ultimately be able to access data from a 3D map that will help them identify the real-world objects in the space around you and better understand your context so they can help you.
What's happening here is that the glasses are calculating where Mingfei is in the room, locating and identifying all the nearby objects based on the index mentioned earlier, and figuring out which of those objects Mingfei is interested in by observing her eye movements. That contextual information, in turn, enables the system to offer proactive assistance to Mingfei in a variety of ways. Here, the system knows that she may want to turn on the TV, so when she clicks while looking at it, the system turns it on. Ultimately, her AR glasses will tell her what her available actions are at any time.
Really, it's an early look at the sort of intuitive, low-friction interface that AI plus EMG input will enable in the future. This is how we'll all be interacting one day.
Today, we're seen as a social media company. But in our DNA, we're a company that builds technology to connect people. And the metaverse is the next frontier, just like social networking was when we got started. I've been thinking a lot about our identity as we begin this next chapter. Building our social media apps will always be an important focus for us. But right now, our brand is so tightly linked to one product that it can't possibly represent everything that we're doing today, let alone in the future. Over time, I hope that we are seen as a metaverse company. And I want to anchor our work and our identity on what we are building towards. And as part of this, it is time for us to adopt a new company brand to encompass everything that we do. To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta. Now we have a new North Star to help bring the metaverse to life. And we have a new name that reflects the full breadth of what we do and the future that we want to help build. From now on, we're going to be metaverse first, not Facebook first. That means that over time, you won't need to use Facebook to use our other services. And as our new brand starts showing up in our products, I hope that people come to know the Meta brand and the future that we stand for. I am dedicating our energy to this more than any other company in the world. And if this is the future that you want to see, then I hope that you will join us.